Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Could I get a roll call?
Commissioner Laird? Commissioner Milne?
Here.
Commissioner Nicolason? Commissioner North?
Here.
Chairman Frill?
Here. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the born and unborn.
Thank you. We'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve consent.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Milne and a second by Commissioner North. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Milne?
I'd like to make a motion to open up, we need to discuss what we want to do with that temporary hut. And so with that, I'd like to make a motion to auction the hut off, and if nothing else, just so we can have discussion. So make a motion to auction the hut.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Milne to add to the consent agenda discussion on the temporary facility from the Nordic ski area, and to auction that off, and second by Commissioner North. Discussion?
I would, since Michael Brown's here, I'd appreciate if he'd come up and talk to us about what the current disposition of excess material or equipment is that the county currently has, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner North, Chairman. Typically, what happens with used equipment, used vehicles, used heavy equipment is it's put on the public auction site, which is managed by some road bridge staff to set it up and put it on there. You determine the timeline, how long you want it there. You can set a minimum bid, provide a description. This kind of falls in line with what the employee handbook says about auctioning off equipment. You can sell it at a set price, or you can sell it to the highest bidder. I don't have the handbook in front of me to quote it, but that's my understanding of the process that the county typically uses.
Heather?
So yes, Mr. Chairman, and then Mike and I talked, and I forgot to bring the handbook, but we did just look at that. Right after the procurement policy and grants, there's how we get rid of capital assets. If they're valued over $5,000, excuse me, we can either transfer it to another department, donate it to another governmental entity, or put it out for sale, either on an auction site or take bids for it. So those are our options.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So, with that said, I would move that we go ahead and put it on that auction site so that we can go ahead and have a minimum bid amount. I know we had an offer directly from Montana Sheds, and I think we ought to have a minimum bid set on that amount. I don't know if we need to vote on that particular number right now, or if we can set that at a later time. Need a little bit of legal advice.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner North, I think probably the desire is to post it as soon as possible, so I think probably direction from you as what that bid amount should be would be good.
Okay, well, I'd recommend that we have a minimum bid of $35,000 and open that up and put that on the auction site as an open bid so that everybody can bid on that, see where they're at. They know how much the other people are bidding. They don't necessarily know who the other people are, but I remember a few years ago, they auctioned off the old ticket trailer that they had from Bear Trap Meadows, and what everybody thought would go for about $1,500 ended up going for about $4,500. So I think that competitive bid, people looking at it and seeing what else and see how much they want to do, I think that's a good thing to do. So that'd be my recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, is that an amendment to my motion?
No, because your motion was to put it out to auction. All I'm
So we
doing,
need to,
We are putting but we are putting a price on it at this point in time, so that.
so I guess that would be a friendly amendment if you choose to allow it.
All right, so the original motion has been amended. But before we go to that, Michael, I do have two questions for you. The first question is, we have exhausted on the county side that this building would not be of use anywhere else in the county, correct?
Yes, the Parks Department doesn't have a use for it. There was discussion to use it as a shelter bear trap. It's not really a open air shelter, so it doesn't work well there. There's not a use out at the reservoirs. There was mention that the coroner was looking for a building, but I think a C-can is more appropriate for what they're looking for. So yeah, we basically exhausted any alternate options for using this building. Currently, the building has been moved off the mountain so construction can begin, and it's currently located on Montana Shed's lot, so the public can see it. And I guess my question to the commission would be, there was a mention of minimum bid of $35,000, but I'd also like to know a longevity of how long this auction should be open for, whether it's 2 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever that may be.
Okay, so my follow-up question to you was, is 35, I know we did discuss 40 before, but is 35 a reasonable amount to have a reserve on it?
I believe so. Currently, my understanding, a building like this will take a year to get manufactured if you were to do a new one. And the county purchased this for $70,000. I don't remember which year what that was, but it was a few years back. So 35 is 50% of the original cost. That kind of makes sense.
And what kind of a time frame? You've dealt with auctions in the past with other equipment. What kind of a time frame do you think we need to place on this?
You know, because this isn't a used pickup, I would think in a 3 to 4 week range would be appropriate. We wouldn't be overextending our stay on Montana Shed's lot. They're allowing us to store it there rent-free. So I think a 3 to 4 week would be an appropriate time frame.
Okay, thank you. So you want to add that to your amendment?
I will add to the amendment that we ought to have it up for 3 to 4 weeks as a friendly amendment to the.
It's about average.
Jim, I think you have to agree to that.
I agree to that.
Okay, so the motion that's been amended is that we will put it on the auction site for 4 weeks at a reserve of $35,000.
There you go.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we'll open it up to public comment.
I guess I'll go first. Oh, you want to go, Dan? Go. I'm not that important.
Mr. Chairman, Commission, I just got a phone call from Representative Bill Alman, and he asked me to come to the podium and offer his condolences to Peter Nicolaisen, who just recently lost his father not more than 30 minutes ago. I think I absolutely echo those sentiments, and I think I can offer that on behalf of the members of this county. So we just give Nicolaisen family our condolences and our prayers. So, thank you.
Dan, thank you, and thank Bill also. I appreciate that.
Good man. His dad was a good man. He used to come out to the house all the time with Peter. Hi, Judy Jones, 335 North 8 Mile. I want to give you guys some stuff here, and then I'm going to read a quick letter that I got. I'm calling these Exhibit A for a reason, because I've been keeping track of our little Christy Turner for a while, and some of the stuff that she's said and basically said to some of our residents of the area that have me quite unsettled. Thank you, Heather, for giving me the public notice. Now I can get off your guys' back about the resolution. She gave me the copies. So I guess I'll scratch that first part. But anyway, back when Dave and Dallas and me and Hal Hutchinson and all of us guys were sitting around, Dallas had scratched out kind of a rough draft of what he would have put into the land use revision on grandfathering. We still haven't seen anything change about that. Secondly, the 7 criteria for the variances for the one guy, what's his name, Hurlbut. I watched you guys a little bit this afternoon and it reminded me of it. You know, when we were out there and I looked through his little packet that he presented to you guys, what he has in mind is no different than what's already there. So, you know, to me, denying him that variance was very wrong. And I think you guys should revisit that and not have to make everyone get a damn lawyer to deal with this outfit. You know, I had to get a lawyer to deal with it, and I know plenty of others that have had to do it. And Mr. Hurlbut, I talked to him a couple of minutes, and he told me that Christie's also been rude to him. And then, if you look at your packet, that gives, that's the first page is a letter I got, and the front page there is how it came to me in the mail. And they didn't have a return address on it, which I really hoped they did, and they didn't sign it. But they said, to the watchdogs of Natrona County, I'm a citizen in this county and my rights are violated by the county commissioners and the building officials and the planner of my lands, Miss Turner. It seems the planner, Miss Turner, can decide now if I can have animals to feed my family on taxed ag lands. How many animals if my children are in 4-H group? Okay, and you guys can read this later and go through it, but I thought it was pretty telling that, you know, this person is obviously afraid of retribution, or they would have signed it, or at least put something on the outside of an envelope so I know who they were, and I can contact them somehow. The second one is another complaint, and this is Tracy's. You guys remember Tracy being in here, and he was talking about this as well, that she didn't follow the rules of going through the planning and zoning and dealing with them first before she put forth this subdivision up on the mountain, which is supposed to be done by state law. Okay, that's just 2 of them. I can go back to December when I was asking about the land use plan to begin with. I asked 3 different times, December 5th, 11th, the 16th, and she kept telling me she couldn't print it off. And I know there's at least 50 printers in this building in a zip drive. Okay, you can plug in anywhere and print. The point I'm making is she's not qualified for this job, for one thing. Time and time again, she comes up here and she spews all of this so-called what's in the land use plan, but a lot of it is left up to interpretation. Now, one way you can read it, and you can read it another way as well. It still needs a lot of work. And I think it's time, you know, if we're going to find real planners, and you guys had problems with the ones that Dallas and North had pretty much decided on, that you guys put in charge to do it, that was stupid. I think we should find a new planner that could be nice to our residents, your constituents. And these aren't the only letters I'm getting. I get calls into Glen Woods in the morning about it. I get emails about it. I should have printed all of them off, but they would be about this thick. And maybe I will, just so you get the idea. People don't like her. And it's not just me, and it's not a chick thing. I don't like being lied to. And I don't like the fact that she's telling people that there's no appeal process. There is an appeal process on anything, anywhere in the United States. So unless you guys want to reprimand her and tell her she better get on board and do shit the right way, pardon me, I'm going to keep on it until she's gone. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Rosemary Saban, 9460 West Zero Road. On August 8th, I met with Mr. Nicolason for coffee. We discussed numerous topics, but the lack of open dialogue was agreed on by us both as not particularly productive. I can personally see where that could make a big difference between the commission and the public. Do any of you believe this would be beneficial to both? On June 7th, 2022, I made a public mention that the need for the preservation of certain lands for agricultural, historical, and scenic value is of high importance. From that, of a financial standpoint, it greatly benefits the county in general. Maintaining growth and development in areas where the infrastructure currently exists reduce cost burdens on the taxpayers. On December 6, 2022, I read the provisions that gave authority and responsibility to the commission from the previous zoning plan, Chapter 1, Section 2, subsections A through H, O through Y, and I cited them numerous other times at other county commission meetings. On May 2, 2023, Mr. Milne responded to my inquiry as to why those provisions had been removed from the rewrite, stating the following. Progress began in April of 2021. It was suggested that Chapter 1 and its provisions be removed as policies and goals from a regulatory document. They are found generally in the development plan. 4/26/21, the removal was noted. Chapter 1, general provisions, recommendations relates to duties of the Natrona County Commissioners Handbook. The recommendation was made to incorporate these items, but referenced in Section 108 in relationship to the 2016 Development Plan. As the resulting effect, if the goals and policies change in the future, they will remain consistent across both the plan and zoning resolution. There was no desire to keep those goals, nor was there any direction received to keep them from the staff, steering, zoning and planning, or Board of County Commissioners. Sound about right? On May 2nd, 2023, a quote by Mr. Milne wasn't necessarily removed for any specific reason other than it's not policy, not a goal. It was addressed elsewhere. Also on May 2nd, at 2:14:20 in the recorded meeting, we're trying to be nefarious or anything like that. It's just what happened. Just kind of following the whole goal of that entire rewrite to reduce, streamline it, simplify the county zoning. That's in a nutshell what we did. Normally, I would be confident that you meant to say not nefarious, but I couldn't swear to that with certainty given recent and current circumstances. There is the matter in that of theft, attempting to steal land rights, and the people's vote on the optional 1 cent sales tax with schemes to go for a 6 behind the people's backs. Would a discussion with Mayor Nell to codify the sale of the city golf course for development, or a discussion of a transference of a $7 million account from the Amico Reuse Board holdings into a general fund be considered public transparency? Mr. Frail, did you serve with Brandy Forgey on the College National Finals Rodeo Board?
Yeah.
On January 4th, 2023, the regular BOCC agenda included ZC 22-3-A. Christy Turner announced that owners Brandy Forgey and Scotty Legursky requested that the zone change from urban ag to light industrial for 40 acres they had recently purchased be tabled until February 7th, 2023. The property is located off of Commerce Drive, 40 acres in a PTN, Section 28, Township 34 North, Range 80 West of the 6th Principal Meridian, southeast of the airport. Motion to table was made by Mr. North and seconded by Mr. Laird. On February 7th, 2023, Mr. Nicolason made the motion to remove from the table ZC 22-3-A, and it was seconded by Mr. Milne. A conference call with Scotty Legursky was made, and Mr. North questioned the plans for the property should the zoning change be approved. Scotty Legursky answered that it was purchased primarily on speculation and mentioned he has a small trucking company. May have plans to build in the future, but in the near future, no set plan. Mr. Nicolason motioned to approve the request. The motion was seconded by Mr. North. No commissioners abstained from the vote and all voted in favor. Mr. Frail, did you have any prior knowledge of the plans for this property before voting on the zone change?
No, I did not, and your time is up.
On May 6, 2023, the property was listed by Platinum Properties for $700,000 with Mr. Stephen Frail as the sales agent. Now, I happen to know the lady who sold the property, and it was her belief and understanding that the land would remain agricultural, so it was sold for $80,000. Less than agricultural land's current value, and at a fraction of what's being listed for currently with a zone change and no improvements. The lady who sold the land is Miss Judy Ellis, a friend and former co-worker. She founded and operated Brighter Horizons Solutions, a nonprofit that helps veterans, disabled seniors, and other adults who live independently in their own homes. A kind, caring, devoted, productive member of society. Absolutely in no way a self-serving woman was taken advantage of, and it makes me very ashamed for multiple reasons, as you should be also. Will you never fail to put yourself in what I can only see as a conflicting light of question and doubt as an elected official? Thank you.
Any further public comment?
I don't think so.
Leo, were you wanting to talk tonight?
Yep. Okay, please. My name's Leo Maddox. I've got a trailer out at Alcova Lake. I'm going to just read this, okay? On August 27th, there was a flash flood from a sudden rainstorm. The force of the water broke a corner post off of the gate between the county shop and the trailer park fencing. The gate was shoved wide open and allowed the flood water to come through. Water raged all around my trailer, space number 12, for about 1 foot of water surrounding my trailer. I hauled out 8 wheelbarrows full of mud from my shed, and in back of the trailer raked up 8 bags of debris and mud from the yard. Since there were no county employees working on Monday, Chris and Mike from the county thankfully took away the mud and 8 bags of debris from my yard on Tuesday. The flood waters ran through trailer number 13's yard, and 3 wheelbarrow loads of base rock that they'd used for the drive in the county lot had washed through. They'd washed a fence out. Broke some fence posts. 7 trailers in all were affected by the debris that had taken away, and it was taken out by the storm. The county allowed the rest of the debris to be taken to a location to be dumped, but there is no designated place to take the debris or tree limbs, etc. at the lake right now. The apparent cause of the flooding was due to the drainage culverts being full of mud and debris from prior storms and had not been cleaned out. The culverts needed to be cleared of debris as soon as possible so another storm will not cause the same results. Whose responsibility is it to take care of these culverts, these drainage culverts? Can I pass this to you and you can take a peek at the rain or the storm?
You already sent those to me, Leo, and I looked at them earlier this
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Or I think your wife sent them to me.
Okay.
I am going to have Michael Brown come up here and explain on the culverts himself. There is a reason why those are full from one side to the other. There is a reason why they're not taking care of that right now, and he'll be able to explain it
It
to you.
sure took the fence out. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Michael, if you can give a real quick explanation on the culvert situation out there and what we're going to have to do.
Yes, during this flash flood event, our maintenance building was flooded also. These culverts allow access to the boat trailer storage parking behind our maintenance building. They've been operational up until this point. These were plugged during this event. However, to clear those out, we actually have to remove them. And if we do that, then folks will not be able to get their boat trailers out to remove their boats for the season from the lake slips. So we are planning on fixing it, cleaning it up. I did pass on your gratitude to Micah and Chris for their assistance on your lot. But Road and Bridge and Parks will be working on drainages throughout the fall to get them up to where they need to be and get things cleared.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll go commission comments. Commissioner Milne.
Yeah, so like Dan said, heartfelt condolences to the Nicolason family. They've been a longtime family in Natrona County. Have done a lot of good work, great family, and it's sad news today. Yeah. Moving past that, September 9th, out at the fairgrounds is the dedication of Chris Navarro's sculpture in front of the industrial building. So if you're interested in that, contact, I think it's about 2 o'clock or so. So that should be a good time. It's if you haven't gone by there yet and taken a look at it, it is mounted out in front, and it is quite the sculpture. He did a really bang-up job. It's real pretty. But so if you have time and are interested, please attend. The fair did get back their overall numbers for the fair this year, and it was actually up overall by 3% again, so they did really well. The carnival gentleman had some problems, but everything worked out in the end. It all turned out, so that's about all I got.
Commissioner North.
For those of you who live up on the mountain or go up there, they're starting to cut the trees around where the lodge was to clear that area out. So please stay away from getting into the parking lot and stuff like that. So that'll make it a little bit easier for them to get that work done. And they're also going to be doing some demo on the old foundation to clear that out and get everything ready so they can jump on it as soon as the weather allows. For those of you who have looked at the weather forecast over the next few weeks, it looks like it's going to start to cool off a little bit. 'Tis the season. I'm not quite ready for it, but I don't know if anybody else is, because the summer was way too short. Our condolences do go out to the Nicolason family. I know it's tough whenever when you lose any loved one, and that is something that it is a heartfelt thing that we do all. I mean, that's one thing that we can't avoid, but to minimize what has happened and remember the life that they've lived and how they've influenced those around them is what we can do, so we can keep that memory alive. And I do encourage people to do that. That's pretty much all I have for tonight.
Rose, if you want to have a discussion as far as what actually transpired with Forgy, I'm more than happy to talk to you. At the same time, we can also discuss the building at First and David that you've been inquiring about as to whether I made any money off of selling that building, which I was the mayor of the city of Casper. Biggest deal I've ever done in my life, $8 million, zero. Okay? So there's more to the story than what you're portraying here tonight. So I'm more than happy to talk to you at any point in time, and we can set the record straight on both of those.
Will you talk about it publicly here?
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to. Brandy Forgy and I we're on CNFR together. Never had any discussions about any property. I don't even know who owned the property before they did. This commission came in here and they did what they did as far as changing zoning. About 2 months later, Scotty Legursky came to me. I don't even know Scotty up until that point, and asked me to list the property for him. Our company has it listed, still currently listed. It is not sold. But there was nothing known ahead of time. Not until after it was completely done, and Brandy came to me because she was a friend of mine on CNFR and asked me to do a job for her. Brandy has since passed on. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone with Scotty this morning about his property. There's nothing, if you're looking for an aha moment that I've done something wrong, you're not going to find it. I know you've gone to Glenn Taylor within my company to inquire as to how dirty I am when it came to First and David Street. Go talk to Carter Napier. I did that deal sitting at a table with him as the mayor. Not one penny did I make off of that. That was my job as the mayor. I do things right and I do it by the book. Simple as that. And you'll never find me doing anything less. Again, with Peter, this breaks my heart. This man today got on an airplane and flew and got his dad by the help of a private individual in this town that loaned his plane to this man to go get his dad to bring him home. And his full intention was to get his dad home and into bed and be back here tonight to take care of business. And unfortunately, his dad made it home. That's the plus. But that's where it ended. This breaks my heart. I have nothing else to say, so we'll stand adjourned.